Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Saima Amin from Jamia Hamdard, Delhi. Today we are going to discuss about a module Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940 under the paper Pharmaceutical and Biological Analysis. So students, let us see the learning objectives of this module. In Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940, the module will describe about the requirement for the Act, the objectives of the Act and the functions of the Act. The structure of the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940 will also be provided, and the structure includes the components of DNC Act and the administrative setup of the Act. Amendments in the Act also will be discussed, and the major amendments from 1960 to 2015 will be provided, and a brief information related to online sale of medicines also will be discussed. Coming to the introduction to the Act, the Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940 was passed in India after realization of poor health services provided to Indian citizens during British rule, as observed by the Drugs Inquiry Committee along with Indian Medical Association. The Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940 is now a consumer protection law which is concerned with the standards and quality of drugs and cosmetics and regulates their import, manufacture, sale and distribution in the country. The drugs and cosmetic rules have been divided into 18 parts dealing with a particular subject. There are 2 schedules to the Act, 26 schedules to the rules. The first schedule deals with the name of books under Ayurvedic, Siddha and Unani tip system, while the second schedule details the standard to be complied with for imported drugs manufactured for sale, stock or exhibit for sale or distribution. Broadly, Drugs and Cosmetic Act covers manufacture of new drugs, manufacture of drugs for evaluation purposes, manufacture of Schedule C, C1 and X drugs, manufacture of drugs other than Schedule C, C1 and X drugs, license for the manufacturing of drugs, loan license, repackaging license and the license for import of drugs. The objectives of the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940 are: first, to regulate the import, manufacture, distribution and sale of drugs and cosmetics through license. Second one is to manufacture the distribution and sale of drugs and cosmetics by qualified persons only. The third objective is to regulate the manufacture and sale of Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani drugs. Finally, the objective of the Act is to establish Drug Technical Advisory Board, that is DTAB, and Drugs Consultative Committees, that is DCC, for allopathic and allied drugs and cosmetics. The functions of the Act are: first is dealing with the manufacture of drugs. In this, specifically, the manufacture of drug specified in Schedule C, C1 and X. Second one is related to manufacture of the drugs other than in Schedule C and C1. Third is manufacture of the drugs mentioned in Schedule C, C1. Also, it deals with the manufacture of drugs for examination, test or analysis. And finally, the Act deals with the manufacture of new drugs. Apart from the manufacture of drugs, the second function of the Act is to provide loan license, then providing repacking license. It also deals with prohibition of import of drugs and also deals with the import and registration of drugs and cosmetic. The appendices in the schedule for easy manufacture of drugs are: Appendix 1, which details the data required to be submitted with the application for permission to market a new drug. Appendix 2 displays the format for submission of clinical trial reports. Appendix 3 elaborates the animal toxicity requirements for clinical trials and marketing of new drugs. Appendix 4 describes the number of animals for long-term toxicity studies. Appendix 5 provides patient consent for participation in a phase 1 clinical trial study. And Appendix 6 provides information required for the groups of fixed dose combinations and their data. It shows the different schedules which are in the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940. Schedule Y deals with the guidelines on clinical trials. Schedule P provides the life period of drugs. Schedule A is the performer for application of licenses, issue and renewal of different licenses. Schedule S deals with the standards for cosmetics. Schedule B provides the rates of fee for test or analysis. Schedule C provides the import, sale, distribution and manufacture of biological and special products. Schedule D emphasizes on the drugs exempted from the provision of import. Schedule H details the prescription drugs, while Schedule J provides the diseases or ailments which a drug may not purport to prevent or cure. Schedule X again provides the information for the import, sale, distribution and manufacture under special provisions. Schedule W provides the drugs to be marketed under the generic names only. Schedule T provides the information related to the premises and the hygienic conditions for Ayurveda and Siddha formulations. Schedule U provides the particulars for cosmetics, while Schedule V provides standards for patent or proprietary medicines. Schedule N provides the list of minimum requirements for efficient running of a pharmacy. Schedule M provides the good manufacturing practices, and Schedule K provides the drugs exempted from certain provisions related to the manufacture of drugs. This slide shows the different structure of the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940. For example, the prime structure includes DTAB, Drug Technical Advisory Board, DCC, Drug Consultative Committee, Central Drug Laboratory. Next structure is related to the controlling authorities, then licensing authorities, and the government analyst, constituting the part of DNC Act 1940. The administrative bodies of Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940 include: first, the advisory body, which includes Drugs Technical Advisory Board, Drugs Consultative Committee; the analytical body, that includes Central Drugs Laboratory and the government analyst. The executive body includes licensing authorities and the controlling authorities like drug inspectors. Drugs Technical Advisory Board. It is constituted by central government to advise the central and state governments on technical matters related to administration of the Act. It consists of 18 members, of whom 8 are ex officio, 5 are the nominated members, and 5 are the elected members. The nominated members under the Act are the persons, especially 2 in number, nominated by central government from amongst persons who are in charge of drugs control in states. 1 person from a pharmaceutical industry is nominated by the central government, and the 2 government analysts are also nominated by central government. The nominated and the elected members hold the office for 3 years but are eligible for renomination and re-election. The elected members include a teacher in pharmacy or pharmaceutical chemistry or pharmacognosy from an Indian university or an affiliated college, elected by the Executive Committee of Pharmacy Council of India. The second elected member is a teacher in medicine or therapeutics from an Indian university or an affiliated college, elected by the Executive Committee of PCI. The third member is a pharmacologist, elected by the governing body of ICMR, that is Indian Council for Medical Research. Fourth member is a person elected by Council of Central Medication Education. The Drugs Consultative Committee, DCC, is constituted by central government in order to secure uniformity in the Act throughout India. It is an advisory committee for the central and state governments and the DTAB, and it consists of 2 representatives nominated by the central government, and the one is a nominee of each of the state government. The committee is empowered to regulate its own procedures. The Central Drugs Laboratory. The Act provides regulations for the establishment of a central drugs laboratory under the control of a director appointed by central government. The laboratory established in Calcutta under the Act execute the following functions. First, to analyze or test samples of drugs or cosmetics sent to it by the cosmetic collectors or court. Second is to carry out such other duties given by the central government or with its permission by state governments after consultation with DTAB. Government analyst. State government or central government by notification in the official gazette appoint persons with sufficient qualification for the post of government analyst for such areas in a state and for such drugs or classes of drugs. Licensing authorities. For the grant or renewal of license for import, manufacture, sale, distribution, etc. of any drug or cosmetic, application has to be given to licensing authority under the Act. The Drug Controller India is the central licensing approving authority. Controlling authorities. Drug inspectors are appointed as controlling authority under the Act. Manufacture of drugs specified in Schedule C, C1 and X. The manufacturing of drugs specified in Schedule C, C1, excluding those specified in Schedule X, is carried out through a form, that is Form number 27. The manufacture of drugs specified in Schedule C, C1 and X is carried out through Form 27B. Respective licenses are issued for such manufacturing in Form 28 and 28B respectively. If a manufacture of any additional drug is required, then license should be accompanied by a fee of Rs 50 for each drug subject to a maximum of Rs 500. For manufacture of Schedule X drugs, accounts of all transactions regarding manufacturing should be maintained in a serially bound and paged register which should be preserved for 5 years. The manufactured drugs should be kept in direct custody of a responsible person, and the preparation must be labeled with recipe RX and is marked in packages not exceeding 100 unit doses for tablet or capsule and 300 ml for oral liquid and 5 ml for injection. The manufacture of drugs other than in Schedule C and C1 includes: the batch manufacture should be adequate for test and analysis, and the records of such manufacturing and testing should be maintained for at least 2 years from the date of expiry of the batch manufactured. The application for the grant or renewal of license for manufacture of drugs other than those specified in C, C1 and X should be made to licensing authority by filling Form 24, and for manufacture of Schedule X drugs, Form 24F is filled. Manufacture of drugs, those specified in Schedule C, C1. For this manufacture of drugs specified in Schedule C, C1, that is including all biological products, must be carried out in previously sterilized sealed glass or suitable container. The containers for such manufacturing should comply with requirements of Schedule F, F1, and the drug must comply with the standards of quality, purity, strength specified in Schedule F. Serum should be tested for freedom from abnormal toxicity, and the parenteral formulations in doses of 10 ml or more should be tested for freedom from pyrogens in separate laboratories maintained for culture and manipulation of spores bearing pathogens. Test for sterility should be carried out for CC1 drugs. Manufacture of drugs for examination, test or analysis. License is necessary for the manufacture of any such drug in a small quantity, and if a person intends to manufacture drugs other than those specified in Schedule C, C1 and X, or to manufacture drugs specified in Schedule C, C1, then he should obtain license by filling Form 29, which is only granted after producing no objection certificate from licensing authority appointed by the central government. The license remains valid for a period of 1 year. All the drugs should be kept in containers bearing labels indicating the purpose for which they have been manufactured and should bear labels stating name and address of the manufacturer, scientific name of substance and the purpose for which it has been manufactured. Manufacture of new drugs. No new drug can be manufactured unless prior approval of the licensing authority has been taken. The applicant should produce all documentary and other evidences relating to the standards of quality, purity, strength, and such other information as may be required should be included in the document. Special informations related to the results of therapeutic trials carried out on that new drug should also be supplemented. While applying for a license to manufacture a new drug or its preparation, an applicant should produce along with the application evidence that the drug has already been approved. Loan licenses. A loan license means a license which is a licensing authority may be issued to an applicant who does not have his own arrangements for the manufacture but who intends to avail himself of the manufacturing facilities owned by another licensee. Loan license is deemed to be cancelled or suspended if license owned by the loan licensee whose manufacturing facility is being availed by the licensee is cancelled or suspended. Repacking licenses. Repacking licenses are granted for breaking up of any drug other than those specified in Schedule CC1 on application to licensing authority in Form 24B, and license is issued after a prescribed fee of Rs 500 or 200 is made in Form 25B. Import and registration of drug and cosmetic. Drug import to India is under the authority of a license. Some drugs or cosmetics can be imported without any permit, providing they are of standard quality, and a statement that they comply with the provisions relating to import has been given to the custom collector by manufacturer or importer. Registration certificate is required for import into and use in India. The certificate is issued by the licensing authority. An application for the issue of a registration certificate should be made to licensing authority along with the information and undertaking specified in Schedule D1 and D2. Prohibition of import of certain drugs or cosmetics. Under this Act, any drug which purports to claim or mitigate any such disease or ailment specified in Schedule J in the rules, or any cosmetic that contains an ingredient which makes the product unsafe for use cannot be imported. Drugs whose manufacture, sale, and distribution are prohibited in the country of origin, or drugs not labeled and packed in the prescribed manner are prohibited for import. Also, biologicals and other special products after the date of their expiry as mentioned on the label, or those not complying with the standards of strength, quality or purity may be specified. The list of drugs import under license. The Act provides the list of the drugs which are for import under the license. The list includes drugs specified in Schedule C, C1 except those specified in Schedule X, then drugs specified in Schedule X, then small quantities of drugs imported for the purpose of examination, test or analysis. The list also includes drugs for personal use provided prescription of registered medical practitioner should be there, and also the list include any new drug for which an application for import license must be made to the proper authority in prescribed form. Major amendments in the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940. The major amendments which have been incorporated in the Act include: the first one is Drug Amendment Act 1960. Here, the amendment came to replace the word treatment with word diagnosis and treatment, and insertion of the clauses CE was made. In the second amendment, which occurred in 1962, called as the Drug Amendment Act 1962, here the Act was amended to replace Dangerous Drugs Act 1927, wherein the words like cultivate, prohibited plants were introduced. The third amendment, that is the Drug Amendment Act 1964, in this amendment, the issue related to placebo trials and post-trial excess of drugs was discussed, and the amendment was made by World Medical Association. In the fourth amendment, that is Drug and Cosmetics Amendment Act 1988, the amendment was made in the Act for the purpose to introduce procedure for clinical trials of new drugs in India. The next amendment that was done in 2001 and 2002, also called as Drugs and Cosmetic Amendment Act 2001 and 2002, Good Clinical Practice Guidelines drafted by CIDSCO under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare was included, with a purpose to discuss quality audit protocols for conducting clinical trials in India. The next amendment, which was carried out in 2005, was related to the phase lag for drug trials, and this phase lag was removed, which allowed multi-country concurrent trials that significantly removed the phase development time for drugs. The next amendment was in 2008, where the life imprisonment for offenders involved in manufacture, sale and distribution of spurious and adulterated drug was incorporated, and the minimum punishment of 7 years was mentioned, which may extend to life imprisonment, is also discussed in the Amendment 2008. The Drug and Cosmetics Amendment Act 2011 details the clinical trials conducted in Indore, which raised the questions related to the investigations by the Economic Offence Wing of Madhya Pradesh. Next amendment was in 2013, which was introduced in Rajya Sabha and referred to the department related to Parliamentary Standing Committee on Health and Family Welfare for examination and report. This bill contains critical drugs and separate regulatory provisions for medical devices and the expensive provisions for regulating clinical trials. In this amendment, 3 chapters were inserted. The chapter 1, that is 1A, was related to Constitution of Central Drug Authority. Chapter 1B was related to clinical trials, and for the start of clinical trials, the permission from Drug Controller General of India and Central Licensing Authority has to be taken. Chapter 11A was also incorporated, and it details with the import, manufacture, sale, distribution and export of medical devices. Constitution of Medical Devices Technical Advisory Board has taken place by the central government to advise the central government and state government on technical matters pertaining to medical devices. The last amendment in the Drugs and Cosmetic Act happened in 2015, with insertion of new third schedule is proposed, where categories of drugs for which the Central Licensing Authority is empowered to issue license and permission is incorporated, and such category includes antigens and antitoxins, blood products, cytotoxic substances, drug products containing modified living organisms, fixed dose combinations, and gene products. The role of Drug and Cosmetic Act on online sale of medicines. Indian government has taken steps to regulate in the next 6 months the online sale of medicines. The Drugs Consultative Committee under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare wants to create a centralized platform to regulate the operations of e-pharmacies. Currently, e-commerce businesses are governed under the Information Technology Act 2000 and the sales of medicines are governed by Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940. Online sales of drugs violate the Drugs and Cosmetic Act. The Act mentions that medicines can be sold under the supervision of a registered pharmacist. The Indian Internet Pharmacy Association has already launched a self-regulation code for online pharmacists so as to standardize the sale of prescription medicines and also to address the grievances of their customers. So students, let us summarize what we have learned through this module. As we all know that Drugs and Cosmetic Act 1940 has provided a detailed insight into the manufacturing, import and packing of different pharmaceutical formulations. There are different schedules which are constantly guiding us what to be supplemented and detailed in the document to be furnished to the licensing authority for manufacturing of pharmaceuticals. The Act has been amended time to time from 1949 to 2015 in order to make the manufacturing process in India more convenient, and it has specially emphasized on these quality attributes for the products. We all know that this act has provided us different provisions for loan license and repacking of pharmaceuticals so that smaller firms are also benefited for the manufacturing of the pharmaceutical products. Recently, the Act has also taken initiative to provide steps to regulate the online sale of the pharmaceuticals, and thus, under this Act, the product manufacturing and its approval has now become more convenient and easy. Thank you.